So what I mean, really, what got me here, man, was a lack of spirituality, a lack of God in my life, basically, and that that looming feeling of uselessness that so many of us face, and I got here on a suicide attempt, man, and I was living in New Orleans, tried to commit suicide in a friend of mine's apartment here in Baton Rouge. That was my second time in a psych ward in less than a year, and yeah, creepy socks.
What's going on, my people? We are back in the building. It's your favorite podcast, Built by the Red Stick. Make sure to give us a follow. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all of them, TikTok. Like the post, share it, give us some love, run them numbers up. Listen, we are back at it. We got to get a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back for this fire episode.
And this episode is brought to you by Rayville Recovery Treatment Center. Rayville is about an 80-plus bed facility in North Louisiana, just about 3 hours north of Baton Rouge. It's the number one co-occurrence residential treatment facility in the state of Louisiana. If you're struggling with mental health, if you're struggling with alcohol or drug abuse, give my people at Rayville Recovery a call. The number is 318-728-5488, and tell them I sent you. And I know you probably like, well, I want to get help, but that's 3 hours away. Don't trip. They got you. They will come pick you up. They will transport you all over from the state of Louisiana. I'm talking all four corners, even the central. They coming to get you. Admission is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All you got to do is call that number, 318-728-5488. And then you probably like, well, I want to get some help, but I don't have insurance. Don't trip. They got you. They even take uninsured people for help. No man or woman left behind. Call my beautiful people at Rayville Recovery today. Again, that number is 318-728-5488. Rayville Recovery. Recovery redefined. The journey starts with you.
And just like that, we are back.
Aye.
Listen, we haven't got to do this in a while.
So long.
But
I'm about to break the...
We got the best hype man in America with the alley-oop for the fucking introduction. My guy, Ronnie LeDuff.
Baby, we are back in the Built by the Red Stick building. It's your boy, Ronnie LeDuff. Check this out, y'all. The guy we got in here today, right? It wasn't whack, so we had to run it back. I mean, I'm talking about ever since I had him on here, I've been seeing him on tour everywhere. My dude been grinding. He probably gonna be on the stage near you. I'ma deem him the funniest man in recovery. Brandon Bruffet.
What's happening, y'all?
Back.
Yeah.
Built by the Red Stick
Thank
building.
You,
and I said your name right this time. Remember last
did,
time?
you
I was
did.
nervous.
Hey, man.
That was my first solo thing. I was nervous.
Everybody mispronounces it, but you bounced back.
I bounced
just
back,
fine.
man.
It was
Bruh,
great.
it was a pleasure and an honor to have you on the first time. And so we had to do it again.
Well, I certainly appreciate you bringing me back.
Oh,
man.
for sure. It was inevitable.
And we got my man here with me.
Bruh,
He
boy.
sold me out the first time, but
Yeah, he sold
had me worried,
Yep.
but now he's back.
back.
I'm glad to be here.
I was like, now you see me?
Nah,
Now you don't. Yeah.
It's like, hey, bro, we got this podcast. You want to be a part of it?
I was
Psych,
like,
gotcha.
damn.
I ain't gonna be
I
there.
was like, damn. Ronnie got a fake partner. Like he's doing the most over here. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, man.
I appreciated coming back. I was super excited when Ronnie told me you were coming back, man.
Yeah.
Because I was really looking forward
Well,
to
I've
the
been
episode.
trying to get back the whole time, bro. I'm hitting Ronnie up like, yo, what's up?
What's
Yeah.
good?
It was a respect thing, bro. It was a respect thing.
Yeah, no, I get it totally,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
Totally.
So I wasn't part of the first episode. So if you don't mind, just a little recap of what got you to the funniest man in recovery.
I thought it was me for a while.
Look,
man.
I'll let me go a quick caveat there. I'll take funniest man in Baton Rouge recovery, right? Because Rich Voss is still in recovery. So what got me here, man, was a lack of spirituality, a lack of God in my life, basically, and that that looming feeling of uselessness that so many of us face. And I got here on a suicide attempt, man. And I was living in New Orleans. Tried to commit suicide in a friend of mine's apartment here in Baton Rouge. That was my second time in a psych ward in less than a year. And
Grippy socks.
yeah, grippy socks.
Grippy socks.
As a friend of mine says, psych ward socks. I've got about 4 different colors of them. So
Made the
when
rounds.
when you start filling up your drawer with those, it's time. You know? So they offered me rehab on that second time, man. They put me at Woodlake. It was time for me to get out of my way.
Yeah. Which Woodlake did you go to?
I went to Mid City.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
The smallest one, man.
So I'm a Woodlake alum. I
Yeah.
visited good old Ethel 5 times.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So like you said, when you
got that frequent flyer pass.
So I was about to say, when you said your sock drawer gets filled up with when your punch card starts getting
yeah.
fucking rehab trips,
Hey, man.
It's like maybe I should do something different. Well, fucking right, dude. And so you're originally from
West Monroe.
Monroe
West
area.
Monroe, yeah.
There's another funny man who's not originally from the Monroe area.
Greg Greer.
Greg Greer.
Greg Greer is funny. We just had Greg Greer on 2 episodes ago.
That's what's up.
Breath work.
Yeah.
Activation breath work. Soul drama.
So he's been in the field and been in recovery for a long time. Had a little stint in Los Angeles with a little comedy.
It was Los Angeles. Yeah.
Oh, man, you had to link us.
Definitely.
Yeah,
he's funny as shit, too.
Yeah, he's super funny.
Does
Got
impersonations.
like 200 impersonations.
Oh, wow.
Like he used to do radio, all kind of stuff. Yeah, he legit. He legit.
That's what's up.
Yep. Greg Greer, I know you're gonna see this. Get at my man Brandon Bruffet.
Yeah. Link, bro.
Got the link out. Whoa, I did this. Not that. Got the link. Not that.
No docking.
No that. I'm sorry.
We're not.
Shoot.
And Squirrel.
Squirrel ball. My dude is back. I'm sorry. I'm still excited from last week, bro.
So
we're all blushing in here is the crazy thing. That's what's up.
Just a whole vibe, man. That's the beauty of this thing, though.
I'm glad I'm black and y'all can't see it.
Oh, I can see it. I saw it, bro. Yeah. As lit up as you are right now, we gonna see this. I'm like, damn, Ronnie just got a shade darker.
Yeah, man. That's funny. All right. Woo. It's getting hot in here. Who wore a hoodie in the summertime?
That's because you out here
acting like a YN. Oh, I can't say that.
Neither can I, but I have been accused of it.
Cut that, kid. God.
Don't cut it. Leave all that. Leave all that. All right. So anyway, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
What just happened?
So you find your way, and so what's the vision with like, I know now you're in recovery, so like I think I saw some things about you trying to create this like sober comedy tour kind of thing.
Well, not necessarily a tour, but there's a couple of folks here in town that are, more and more there are like recovery comics. That are starting to like, just come out. Well, you can just see it in their comedy. If you're listening to their comedy, you're like, okay, well, these people are sober. And so there are like a list of comics that I want to work with. And or try to get to the area. There are locals that look. He knows I got an open mic.
I just got nervous.
He knows I got an open mic.
We talked about this.
Don't play like that, man. You're not nervous.
But we talked about this last episode. I'm funny.
Yeah.
But when people come in to expect me to be funny, that's when
it just takes a little practice, bro.
There we go.
It's a little practice, bro. I'll be right there. I'll Sherpa you right through. Yeah.
They were just practice.
I'll cradle you like a big old baby. Man.
It's a big baby, bro.
Yeah, it is a big baby.
It is a big baby. I'm the real big baby.
Yeah. But like we can get it, we can get it done, man. Like so, basically, what I'm doing here in Baton Rouge is trying to create like a little ecosphere of comedy, right? I've got an open mic that I do once a month. I've got a competition show that I do once a month, which is like it's the craziest competition that you can imagine. I give the entire audience Nerf guns.
I was just about to
let them shoot. It's called Gun Control. It's I'm so glad I found a home for it at Boomerang Comedy Theater. They've been very gracious because like other places were like, nah, it's an insurance risk and this, that, and, we don't want the cleanup is too much. But we've got it dialed in to where it's a really fun
awesome.
show.
They replaced the
awesome.
tomato with Nerf guns.
And
bro.
like Boomerang is a place like right now they don't have a liquor license. You can't even bring outside drinks in. So it's like for recovery people, it's like a
perfect.
safe haven, right?
Yeah.
And it's so much damn fun. Like it's so when people think about when I tell them like, oh, local comedy, they're like, I think that the perception is like, well, you're in my city. It can't be that funny. My ass. Just come once and you'll be back.
So where's Boomerang at?
Boomerang is on. You know where Elsie's Plate and Pie is?
Oh, yeah.
Off of government.
Yeah.
It's 455 Hearthstone Drive, but it's a weird little complex, and so many people pass it every day and don't know it's there. But it's in the same complex that Elsie's Plate and
when's the
Pie
next
is.
one?
So I'm doing a show there Saturday night. It's not that show. It's a 20-minute showcase show. I bring in 3 other comedians. We all do 20 minutes, and being Pride Month, I've got 3 of the area's funniest LGBT comedians. I've got Ryan Rogers from New Orleans, who is the creator of
Huh?
You going?
I'm
going.
hosting.
I'm going.
I'm hosting.
So Ryan Rogers is the creator and producer of LGBT LOL Comedy Festival in New Orleans. He also just opened in Arkansas for Tig Notaro, which is huge. He also just filmed his latest special. I can't even remember what it's called, but Ryan Rogers is a maniac. He's really a dynamo in the comedy scene. I've got Maggie Shipley from Lafayette, Louisiana, and then I've got Joe Tolpe, who's also from New Orleans. They're all 3 super funny, and I can't wait to host
Brandon
them.
Bruffet.
And me, I'm gonna be there.
Brandon
The
Bruffet,
shows that I produce are not about me, but I do a set. I just I love the opportunity to host other comedians. So I do the competition show. It's more for like younger comedians that might not have like extended time. Right. So that show, if they win that show, I'll move them on to a 15-minute set. And if they win that, then I move them on to a 20-minute set. And then I've got 2 other 20-minute showcase shows that I do around town. So I'm just trying to create a path for comics. Like you can come, and if you are the crowd favorite at my open mic, then you get that feature, and then I'll put you on a show. If you do well on that show, on that competition, then I'll put you on a show. Yeah.
He don't know how my mind works.
You thinking about doing it?
No, I'm thinking about fucking partnering with this dude and opening a comedy club.
Hey, man.
To be the mothership of Baton Rouge.
Let's do this.
Listen, I just came back from Hill Country, Texas, right? And so, bunch of people from Austin.
Yeah.
Bunch of people from Austin. Yeah. And so all I hear about is their little mothership and their comedy scene.
Oh, they're killing it up there. Yeah.
So, it just...
Hey, man.
Did somebody do this for you? Did somebody give you a path to pay or pave the path for you to take?
No, not really. So what I found was that, I started comedy in Chicago, and there's just open mics everywhere.
Right.
Some of them had, bookers that would be there. Some of them, the people who produced them also did other shows, so they may book you on something. But there's a gazillion comics in Chicago. So you can just get lost in the open mic scene, and I wasn't there very long. I was there for 7 months and just doing comedy. So
what's the name of the club? The famous club you got to do?
The Laugh Factory.
Laugh Factory.
Yeah, I did the Laugh Factory, and I when I was up there, I didn't do Zanies while I was up there. But now it's crazy because I'm watching comics that I had met and really looked up to while I was in Chicago. Now they're paid regulars at Zanies. They were doing really small independent rooms, and now they're doing Zanies. It's crazy to watch
comedy
that.
Club.
Mm-hmm.
We get in the comedy club.
You
get in the comedy club. No, you get in the comedy club, and I'm gonna go host for them whenever you need me to.
Yeah.
Why am I nervous? I'm finna do it right now,
bro.
Because we think in immediates.
Yeah.
We talk about this. Just be you.
Just be me.
Yeah.
I want chat. Am I too young, too old to say chat?
I think so, but fuck it.
Let me know if y'all would come and see me on the stage doing my first comedy set. Or if you think I'm funny, period.
Lie to him if you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Lie to him. We need this to happen.
We need this. This is...
Hey, you got a new lens?
I don't know.
Dude, I'm all over the place today. I'm so sorry, dude. That looks good. I can see myself in it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it looks so good.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Am I red? Am I
Yeah,
red?
yeah. Another blush. The second blush of
Little
the day.
blush. So you might have answered this already, but pardon me if you have. What was like? So comedy was obviously a part of your life before.
Yeah.
recovery.
Yeah.
So what do you feel has been like? Like has it been hard to transition from being on stage, maybe intoxicated or whatnot, to being on stage sober? And then what do you feel like the ability to face that and get up there has led you to accomplish?
It's a great question. So, okay, so and I did address this on the first podcast, but
I was in my bag.
but
I
like,
was in my bag.
so
It's a Michael question.
Yep.
like I thought by not successfully killing myself that I had successfully killed every chance that I had in comedy, right? Because like I was in the hospital, I knew I was going to rehab. I had to call and cancel shows. And it was like, and it's like, who wants to work with a flaky, suicidal drug addict? So, but I still wanted to do comedy so badly, and I was still like writing jokes. And now the subject matter of those jokes had changed because it was like suicide attempts and just sober living jokes.
Right.
And, like I mean, there's still jokes that are like, God damn, is this dude really saying this? But because I'm just edgy like that, I am hardcore when it comes to like comedy, and I've got very little filter. I'm very blunt and direct. And so I went out and I did comedy, and it was rocky, right? It was super rocky. And then I went out again. I analyzed the whole situation, and I figured out what it was. And then I went back out and I did these new jokes, and the response was so good that I was just like, yeah, okay, I can still do this. Well, as I got acclimated to being on stage sober, what I found was that I had superpowers. Being sober made me such a better comedian. And especially, here's the crazy part is because like recovery affects every aspect of our lives, right? So as I started working steps, and especially around the fourth and fifth step, where those fifth step promises started coming true, it was like I wasn't afraid to look the world in the eye. I could where I used to look above the audience, now I could look you dead in the face, and I could concentrate on one or two people, because I also study Jordan Peterson. So, and he talks about public speaking, where you're not talking to the group, you're talking to one or two people. And then you're concentrating on them, you're watching their reactions. Well, you can have a conversation with them that involves everybody.
Yeah.
And so then I could do crowd work. I could remember what other comedians said, and I could go up and I could play off of that. And then my ability to write jokes in the moment, which they call writing on stage, was something I'd never been able to do, and now I could do that. So I was like, I felt like a superhero. It was like, oh my God, this is so much better. I realized how much better I was in every way. And I really do. It's crazy that I can go, now I can go, okay, well, I owe that to step work.
Right.
And my progress in the comedy scene. And here's the crazy thing. I did a show in Gonzales a few weeks ago, and the headliner dropped out early because of low ticket sales, which we ended up having almost a packed house in the end. There was so many walk-ups, but he was like, you mind if I drop out? And this was a great compliment. The producer of that show, Jeff Vance with Lunchbox Comedy, he said, yeah, no, that's cool, man, because your feature is a headliner. And I was just like, okay, well, now I got to show out.
Feature.
So when I went up, and this is like the best example I know of those superpowers coming into play. Was I went up and I did a joke about the host and the other three comedians that went up in front of me, and a joke about one of their jokes for everybody. So that's like 8 jokes written on the spot.
Just like that.
and they all landed. It was crazy. It really was. It was crazy, but it feels so good. It's like, so comedy is the only thing that I've ever been driven to do. Right, like, I mean, I was a drug dealer for a long time. I've been unemployed for 14 years before I got sober. So like, but it's comedy. It's like, no matter what, I want to do comedy, and now I've got this arsenal of new weapons in my bag. It's like, let's just go, man. And it's like, and now I'm producing shows. I'm producing 4 events every month in Baton Rouge, and I'm also a co-producer on a couple of like random events. Um, I right now I feel like I'm in my bag with comedy, and it's all because of the program, man.
Were you roasting people in treatment? Like,
a little
like,
bit.
You don't want it with me.
A little bit.
They
So,
come in, don't, hey,
Don't mess with him over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
look, you don't want that smoke.
I want it.
so like, here's a crazy thing. So like, there's been a group of, I recently moved into a new house, right? I moved from Next Step over to the Serenity Lodge over on Tinley, which is a great house, great group of guys. And so there's 12 of us in there, right? And these guys have been they've been coming out and supporting my comedy shows for the past 3 or 4 months. Well, now I'm in the house, and they'll shoot their shot, and I'm just like, okay,
Yeah, you want it, bro.
go on, stack one. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah,
I
So you
load
talked
this
ab-
clip.
You talked about crowd work. You know who one of my favorite crowd work is?
Thank you, bro. I didn't think you was
Who?
gonna bring this up.
Nate Jackson.
Oh shit,
Nate
thought
Jack-
you was
I don't
talking
know
about
him.
me.
You don't know Nate Jackson?
I
no,
was talking about
you'll have
me.
to turn me on.
So he has he's out in the Seattle area, I think.
Okay,
He is
but-
funny, bro.
So he posts he has a comedy club called the Crowd Work Joint,
okay,
and he posts a clip every month of an episode. It's not like a special. It's just every month he drops one, and like he just works like he is good.
Yeah.
And he starts it off the same way. He's like, we got 3 rules, right? First off, if I look at you and you don't want the smoke, look away.
yeah,
Second off, if I look at you and you look at me and I start giving you the smoke and you decide you don't want it, looking away will not save you.
yeah,
And third rule
yeah.
is don't get offended on others' behalf.
Right.
Fuck them.
yeah. That's
And he
what's up.
fucking
He be going
Nate
in.
Jackson. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
check that out.
He be going
yeah.
in.
he's good.
He got a podcast too.
Yeah, with
Can't remember who it is too. I know I be watching it, catching it on TikTok.
I think the first podcast I saw of him was with Schultz.
Oh, Andrew Schultz.
Was it Andrew Schultz?
Yeah,
Bro, that dude is so funny to me.
yeah,
bro.
he's hilarious.
That dude is funny to me.
Yeah.
He a little edgy sometimes. Certain
Uh-huh.
stuff can be a little controversial.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, life controversial.
That's
Right.
comedy.
It,
Yeah,
it
you know what I'm
is the
saying?
best-
Like-
it is the best comedy.
Yeah, he definitely got a few laughs out of me for
Yeah.
sure.
So with the how do you feel like your influence in the comedy scene in Baton Rouge is growing? Are you pleased with it, or is there?
I really am. When I'd been doing comedy sufficiently long enough to where when I got here, I already knew like the top comics in Baton Rouge. So like, especially with doing shows, it's like, those are the guys that I reached out to first. Was the people that I thought were the funniest people in Baton Rouge. And I'm lucky to work with them on a regular basis. There are just certain guys, Jess Kinney, who's my dog. We share a lot of stages together. Terrence Delane, Mike Honore. To me, like when I was thinking about, comedy in Baton Rouge, it was like those are guys that I'm lucky that I have the opportunity to see more and work with so closely. Like I love all of them. And now, like, so far as my influence, really, I just hope that my influence in every way is positive. When I started comedy, all I wanted to be was respected by my peers, and I feel like that's the case. The cocky side of me wants to be like, yeah, for sure, but it's important that I definitely stay grounded. It's like, really, I want Baton Rouge to be busier than what it is.
Absolutely.
You know, and if I can, whatever I can do to help Baton Rouge comedy and the surrounding areas comedy scene be busier, I want to do that. You know.
I like that you say that because I mean, that me and Ronnie talk about it all the time, like creating an impact on the local community of Baton Rouge. It's
Yeah.
why it's built by the Red Stick, right? It's what we find true to us, and we've talked about it so many times. Like while there's such disarray in Baton Rouge, right? While there's crime and poverty and all that, we still have a lot of good to offer.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of good people that
Facts.
need something like that.
Yeah.
And comedy and laughter is good for the heart.
It definitely
Good
is.
for the soul,
good for the
man.
soul.
It definitely is.
I still use laughter to cope with a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
In a serious moment, I'm finna find a way to make that thing funny.
Oh, I
That
mean,
they would-
the whole shirt.
I
You know,
cope
I
with
cope with comedy.
Who is that?
Man, this is my boy Fred Pop Kimball.
Fred Pop Kimball.
yeah,
Bill by the
man.
Red Stick need 2 of those right
Yeah.
now. Don't medium, extra large.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
What? You
Oh.
bigger now?
I've been a large, bro.
That was a compliment. I was saying you ain't got fine shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't this a
So
medium?
you put the man in a
need-
medium.
But
Yeah.
it is.
See that, huh?
Adult large and the extra large. Pops, I'm going to get at you, bro.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
that. I like
This
that.
motherfucker put me in a medium.
It was
Yeah.
a compliment. It was kind of like, you know, when you
It's like
tell
a
your
backhand-
wife,
like
you
a
know,
backhanded compliment. Like,
no,
I
Like-
need you slim, bro. I'm trying to get to a medium.
I'm
you know
trying
what
to
saying?
get
I'm
to a
trying
Lord.
Get to a medium.
You feel me? This
Yeah.
whole stomach won't let me be great. You feel me?
I'm actually wearing a medium right now.
Come on now. Pop, what I said. I know my guy.
all this,
know my
all this
guy.
guilt he just
Say
put
you
on you.
sorry. Live right now.
Boy,
Come
boy,
on,
boy.
man.
Oh man.
Yo, we need an adult extra large and adult medium right
Yeah.
now. I
Right
would,
now.
I would rock that, man.
Yeah, I'm going to get at you, Pop.
Yo, Pop. And so we talked about this last time. Like Baton Rouge ain't known for comedy.
It's not.
You know, so it's gonna be
Louisiana's
one of
not
those
known for
Right,
comedy. You know,
right.
like it's crazy to me that like so New Orleans has probably got the busiest comedy scene.
Right.
And it ebbs and flows. Like, you know, they're constantly losing venues and then regaining venues. Baton Rouge has got a stable scene that really just needs more active audience.
Yeah.
You know, like the open mic at the station has been going on for well over a decade, and it gets a crowd, but it's like, come on, like you're getting free comedy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah.
Why do
if
you
you're-
think that?
I think that because I think that people go to the station because it's such a staple. You know, it's like, for me, it's like, who wants to go to an open mic? You know, but it is something to do in the middle of the week. You can see a bunch of good comedians there, and sometimes they'll have, near 30 comedians on that list if you got some out-of-towners coming in. But then you're also going to see, like, for me, it's like I run an open mic, and I don't necessarily promote it as hard as I maybe should. But for me, it's like if you're getting people, if you're begging people to come to your open mic, that is the quickest way to get them to not come to a paid comedy show.
Yeah.
You know, because like, what if they go and they see a fantastic comedian that's just trying out new stuff for 5 minutes? Well, then they're like, well, this is shit.
Yeah.
You know, so why would I go see that person? Why would I go pay $15, $20 to see that person? Well, they don't necessarily understand the process of what's happening. You know,
I think that's a huge thing. Is like in a lot of different areas is that people see the end result but don't understand the process it takes
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
there.
yeah,
Even bringing it back to, you said recovery, right? Like, and we had a conversation about, things before we went on air, like about, different people and stuff like that. And it gets to this point where people see the final product, but they don't understand what it
Yeah.
took to get there.
Yeah.
And they don't, and therefore they just either appreciate or hate the final product.
Yeah.
And they don't recognize that the journey was what
yeah.
gave you the joy of
Yeah.
the final product.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like I mean, the only people that go and watch professional athletes practice are super fans and scouts.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. You don't just go to the gym and watch somebody work out, watch a bodybuilder work out. You don't do that. comedy is like one of the few things that you don't go watch a band rehearse.
Right.
You see the final product.
Yeah, and so for me, it's like, and I do believe that when you tell people, oh, it's comedy, that they have that instant perception of that preconceived notion of it can't be that good. It's here. It's in my town. I don't already know about it. It's not this big name because like we've got big names coming through, dude. We had the Killers of Kill Tony coming through. Cat Williams is either coming through. Is it October
17th? I
And
believe.
no question that'll sell out.
Yeah.
There are big names that are coming through here, so it's not like we can't do comedy here.
Kevin Hart was just at the Sanger Theater too in February.
Yeah, you have to, I really got to give a shout out to my man Terrence over at Mad Game Studios. He hit me up the other night about being on the ninth season of a sketch show that they've got, which involves Johnny Hustle, which is a local rapper, and my man Will Merrill, who is
Johnny Hustle.
Yeah, that's the dude. That's my dude, bro. Huge personality, right?
Yeah.
And then their homegirl Corday, which is she's one of the co-hosts of Straight Talk, which is a podcast they do. My man Will Merrill, who's probably the most influential comic in Baton Rouge. So one of the things that he said to me was that, like, other cities, major cities, Los Angeles, New York, Miami, like when they focus on their entertainers, they treat them like superstars because they are. That's how you spawn stars. And Terrence is somebody who is behind the camera. He's producing, so he's got his eye on talent. And he's like, I want to do that for Baton Rouge because we do have talented people here. Like, dude, we got an awesome music scene here, man. There are a bunch of great rappers here. There are a bunch of really good comedians here. There are a bunch of aspiring actors and actresses that that need some attention. We just don't have the industry here. And I think that if we had more people that were focusing on that, because like our comedy scene it's us doing it.
Yeah.
There are you got Seti Said over at Silly Rabbit, and he throws a hell of a party. His shows are for sure like a party. But outside of that, it's like you got Boomerang Comedy Theater, which is very small. It's seats 40 people at most, and not a lot of people know about it. So
They don't have the comedy club over off of
College.
yeah, off
That's
of
the
College.
Silly Rabbit.
No, Silly Rabbit's off of Airline.
It used to be the Funny Bone.
Used to be the Funny Bone.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
that's
that was
not
the
there
Silly- I
anymore.
thought
Not there
that was
anymore.
the Silly Rabbit.
No,
No.
the Silly Rabbit is right by the bowling alley
Okay.
on Airline.
Okay.
It's right next
So what's
to
the Funny
Smoke Shop.
Bone now? Nothing.
I don't even know where that was. That was
On
before
College,
my
across
time.
from the penthouse.
Yeah, it was
Okay, so it was across from the penthouse.
Yeah,
it
No,
used to be-
so
it used to be
right in
called
front of that
AAA.
is the station.
Well, no, on the other side. So
Okay,
like,
yeah,
if you
no,
turn on that street, this is the station.
It's
the
not.
penthouse, and then it was right here on the left.
It's not anything comedy
That's crazy.
affiliated.
Yeah, the Funny Bone used to be
because
Yeah.
it was AAA.
Yeah,
and then
AAA,
they had the Funny Bone in the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's.
I went to
not
a lot of
there.
comedy shows there.
I never went. They also, you mentioned all those great things. They also got great podcasts in Baton Rouge. I mean, you know any?
Yeah,
They got the best one in Baton Rouge.
yeah,
Yep.
right here,
Yeah.
right here.
Hey,
Oh,
look,
sound. Bill
huh?
Baton Rouge.
Shameless
Man.
plug.
So
Ray Media doing it. Yeah.
you said something that really caught my attention on all that you said, but I just want to harp on that for a little bit. You said that they treat the people like superstars. Y'all heard that? Y'all got to treat us like superstars, bro, so we can spawn other superstars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you see me, let me skip the line in Walmart. You know what I'm saying? I only got some gummy worms and a monster I'm checking out with.
I don't even check out in Walmart. I just push the buggy right out the door. Like,
But on a serious
I
note,
thought you was going to say you use Walmart delivery.
no, I ain't doing it like that.
on a serious note, that is true though. Like if you want to build a culture of appreciation, like you have to appreciate.
Yeah,
Like, you
exactly.
have you have to show up. Like you have to support. And like you said, man, like all these big names will come out and it's crazy because it aggravates me sometimes, but like it's the same thing with like branding, right? Like people will buy Nike and spend all this money on all these different brands, but your local homie trying to create a
Exactly.
clothing line,
Yeah.
you'll be like, oh, it's cool, but you won't spend the $15
Yep.
to see it.
That's right.
You'll
Yep.
spend, $150 to go see Cat Williams or Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle or some of these other people that
But
have
you won't pay
visited.
15 to go see Brandon.
Right, like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and all of those people
started somewhere.
Yeah.
They were doing 50
Yeah.
and like
Bill Burr talks about how he started comedy. He was working in like like a shipping department of like a UPS. He was like processing boxes, and a dude that he worked with started talking about an open mic, and he just says, he's like, I didn't even know you could just go do that. I didn't either. I didn't know that you could just go do that. And now look at him. Like Bill Burr's the one of the biggest names in comedy, man.
Absolutely.
Who's Bill Burr?
Really? Ronnie.
you're
Show me a picture of him.
fucking with me.
No, show me a picture of him.
Bill Burr.
I might not just know his name.
Hold on. Bill Burr is. Oh man.
Is it spelled like the paint?
I don't know about the paint. What you?
B-E-H-R?
No. B-U-R-R.
I don't know about the paint.
You got him.
Talking about paint.
Yeah. Bill Burr's the man. He's probably my favorite working comic.
Never seen him.
Never seen. Check him out, bro. If you like he is like a rage comic, right? Like, I mean, he I don't even. Yeah, Bill Burr's the best,
That's
man.
okay.
He's
Good stuff.
He be on TikTok?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's got some presence on there,
probably. I mean,
he probably
if not-
doesn't
if-
run it.
If he doesn't have it, somebody's running a clip site for him.
Yeah.
Clipping his
Yeah.
Slip
stuff.
Foreman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Burr's the man, man. I mean, and now he's like, he's a regular on Conan. He's one of Conan's like go-to guys. Or I say, if Conan's even a thing anymore, at least he was a regular on Conan. He did. He had an animated show for a little while. I can't even remember what it was called.
Anime or animated?
Animated.
Oh,
It was hilarious, and it was all based on his stand up. Man, he's an actor. He's been in all kind of stuff. Like he was on Breaking Bad for a little while, which was insanity. Yeah, he was like a henchman on Breaking Bad, which is crazy. Yeah.
And either way, like it's still all of them, right? Anybody any comedian that you could talk about right now who is, and any artist, any actor, any actress, like any podcast, like they all had a humble start, right? Like nobody just and that's what they're talking about. Like there is a process to get to that.
Yeah.
And you need a local community to start that support.
Yeah.
You have I mean, I guess kind of with like social media today, like you can have like, a blow up or something happen.
You can.
But like grassroots are still the most tried and true.
Yeah. If you don't, I mean, it's so and really like it's almost a thing where like if your hometown, if your local community isn't celebrating you, why would any other community celebrate you?
Yeah.
Let's celebrate each other.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. I mean,
Built by the motherfucking Red Stick.
right.
Celebrate good times.
Come on.
We need to celebrate Ronnie's beautiful voice. You can celebrate it by downloading the Built by the Red Stick song on
Apple Music.
Is that's a real thing?
Yeah, we got a Bill by the Red Stick song.
Oh yes, I'm definitely downloading that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was playing it everywhere, dude.
I just
Yeah.
played it 3 times on the way here because you wouldn't answer the phone for me. So I think it was like, what happened? I think it was like 9 weeks since we had you on.
Okay.
What's happened since then?
Oh, so all kind of stuff, man. Like, trying to think 9 weeks ago. Okay, so Fred Pop Kimball hit me up, offered me a role on a streaming gangster drama called Crossed. I'm just waiting on the green light for when we go into production. I can't say a lot about it, but it'd be my first foray into acting.
We over here getting exclusives.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I can't say a lot. But just know it's coming. Crossed.
Yeah.
Do
Do you have any other like actors, actress in that drama that you can make leak?
Well, Fred Pop Kimball is a writer and star of that.
Okay.
So far as the other, I do have the actor's Bible, but the cast Bible, but I don't want to say
Okay,
too
that's
much.
okay.
I don't even want to say my character's name, but I'm really I'm really interested to
We'll have
get
an
into
exclusive
it
later.
Yeah.
because Fred acts. He is an actor. Like he's been in a couple of 3 movies. He's definitely working this thing on the writing end. I'm really excited about that opportunity. And then, like I say, my man Terrence at Mad Game hit me up. This was just Friday night. He hit me up and invited me to be on the cast of their sketch comedy show, which will be streaming on. I believe that the streaming service is called Folsom.
Okay.
If that might be wrong, but it's something like that. I'm sorry. I'm so lacking details and all of these things. But so Friday night. We got 3 shows. The Tunnel underneath the Hilton has invited us back. We got 3 shows on Friday night.
That's what you and your people from your got together, right? And did that at Dearman's?
No. Well, that was the first one. Yeah,
Okay,
the first
okay.
one was that Free Agents comedy. We did that. But now it's
Casey.
Casey's my dude. Yeah, man. I work at Dearman's. That's where I work. I work
Okay,
at Dearman's
yeah.
Diner. Yeah.
So I remember back when Casey opened Club Fusion.
Yeah.
Like this was
Yeah.
decades ago. Decades.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was by Club Skittles.
No.
Club Skittles.
No. It was the old dark room.
I ain't used to go out. My parents ain't let me go out.
This was a long time ago.
And then when I was an adult, I was on
Yeah.
drugs.
He's a good dude though.
Yeah, I love
really
Casey,
good.
man, and dude, they hired a 48-year-old drug addict that had no cook experience and had been unemployed forever. But
You missed that
was
story, too. It was a
that
cool
was the
story
thing
how you
is
got hired.
I took my resume in. I don't know who takes a resume into a diner job, but I took my resume in and they saw it. So if you know Casey, you know him and Justin used to do Free Agents. They used to do rap shows. Well, they saw comedian and podcaster and actor on there, and they were like intrigued, kind of. So shouts out to them for putting me on. And but yeah, so the Hilton, we had approached them and about booking us, and they didn't want to book us. So we did an independent show in the Tunnel, which is one of the coolest venues for sure in Baton Rouge. It is like lounge comedy, right? Like we're on the floor and everybody's just like in couches and velour love seats and it's really awesome. And so since we did that first one and sold it out, now they just keep inviting us back. We've reformatted. This time it's me, Gloria McConnell, Will Merrill, and Ryan Rogers. That's going to be so much fun.
That's this Friday?
That's this Friday, yeah.
So
We're going to be in Monroe.
Oh, my hometown.
Are we?
What y'all
Yeah,
doing?
we're speaking at that event.
okay, I got
There
you.
you go.
Anyway,
There you go. Look at us all booked and busy.
Yep,
2 events this Friday.
Yep.
You've got
3 events Friday, 1 Saturday.
4 events Friday. So you've got
Oh,
the
yeah,
release
yeah,
of Built by the
yeah.
Red Stick episode.
There you go.
yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Start
First
your day
and
off
foremost.
with that.
Started off
Yeah.
with that.
Started
10
off
a.m.
with that.
Central Standard Time.
Get you some Brandon.
That's right.
Then go to the Tunnel.
Yep.
Where's that at?
That is underneath the Hilton downtown.
Downtown Hilton.
Downtown Baton Rouge. It's the speakeasy built onto the tunnel that Huey P. Long used to take from that hotel before it was the Hilton to the state capitol.
Right.
It's super cool.
Yeah,
The
that sounds
door to the
cool as
place
shit.
is
No, I've
built
never
into a
heard- yeah.
bookcase, so you'd never even see it unless you see somebody else open it. You wouldn't even know it's there. It is a true to life speakeasy. It is the sexiest venue. Like I love doing comedy in a suit, so I get to put my suit back on. And then so July 26th, this is the first time this has ever happened for me. July 26th, I've been invited to Pensacola to headline It's Shakers over there. I get to bring my own features, so I'm bringing my boy Teddy Patterson. We started comedy around the same time. That's my dude. He was like, "Man, when you gonna put me on?" I was like, "It's coming, Ted. It's coming." And then I hit him up. I was like, "Send me the headshot,
here.
baby. I'm coming.
here.
We going." So
Mama
we're
made
gonna
it.
go over to Pensacola and act up for the night. I'm looking forward to that. But all kind of stuff has happened. I was able to do fortunate enough to do 2 festivals in a week. I did Bayou Boogaloo Festival in New Orleans, and then the next weekend I went over to Biloxi and did Lunchbox Comedy Festival, which was fantastic. Just a great time on both of those events. I've just been trying to stay, dedicated to comedy and recovery, and now that I'm back at work, as dedicated as I can to that, which is so weird for me to even say. But here's the thing: is that everything that I have been so focused on is just paying off so greatly.
So it's safe to say, probably not, but we're gonna say it anyway. Everybody who's come on Built by the Red Stick, life has took off.
We're out here.
And man, I've been watching y'all, bro. I've been
We're out here
watching y'all, man.
appreciating
Y'all got
stars.
rappers and athletes.
Flowers.
Y'all got rappers and athletes and comedians and just like when I watched mine, and I watched mine probably more than I should have. I was watching it for you though, Ronnie. I was watching it for you, and
It's okay. I watch all of them.
yeah. And then it was like I started watching the other ones, and I was like, man, I'm in damn good company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It made me feel really good about being invited on here, man, because y'all have had some really cool guests.
Yeah.
Bro. Y'all's guest list is
For sure,
awesome. Yeah.
man. You definitely one of a kind, man. I haven't had the pleasure of being around a lot of comedians, but if they all like you, then I'll be a.
They not.
They're not.
You know what I'm
Not
saying?
like
Oh,
just,
Just like all
They are
podcasts,
not.
they like us.
You know what I'm saying?
All
They
podcasts,
not like us. They
not
like us.
Whoa, copyright.
But they are, man. Like most of the comedians. Here's one of the greatest compliments that I got, and before I got sober, I didn't get a whole lot of compliments, man. But like my buddy Josh Watts over on the North Shore in Covington, I was doing a show with him one night, and his wife and kids were there. And then he sent me a text message a couple of days later, and he was like, "Man, my wife just really loved you, man." And he sent me the text messages that she had sent him, and it was like, I just really enjoyed meeting Brandon. And he was like, most of the comedians that I meet are just whiny bitches, and they kind of themselves. And it was like, that's crazy, because if she would have met me when I was in my addiction, that was me.
Yeah.
And now like I'm fully reintegrated with society. So
So not to put too much out there too early, but just to speak it into existence. Me and Ronnie are working on our festival, our Built by the Red Stick Festival.
that's
we want to
awesome.
Yep.
do, and I think we should go ahead and offer him to headline that thing. You know what I'm saying?
You do it. Come on, man. We locking in.
Yeah,
We locking in.
we got to get it out
Oh,
there.
that's lit.
So
Yeah, I'd be honored.
So we looking for November time, right?
November.
And the reason why we chose it because with Louisiana weather, that's like
Okay.
prime time,
Yeah.
like cool, not too cold. Now that's dope if you're a headliner.
I will just like let's get together on the dates, because November is also Skankfest, which I have to be at. It's the biggest comedy festival in the
like me a
country.
good skank.
Dude.
What's a skank?
So every committee, so Skankfest is done by the Legion of Skanks, which is Dave Smith, Big J Okerson. If you're a crowd work fan, Big J Okerson is almost exclusively crowd work. And Louis J Gomez, they're the Legion of Skanks. And they started this festival that just kind of travels around the country. It's in a different place every year, and this year it's in New Orleans. But
Okay.
it's where it's like everybody, like, so me, I do this show called Putting the FU in Funny, because like leave your sensitivities at the door, right? Like
fucking right.
you know.
My
F
type
you.
of
And
comedy.
and
bro.
Skankfest, putting the FU in funny.
I like
And
that,
Skankfest is that. It's where, like, if you know Jim Gaffigan.
I don't know. Let's just be honest
So
with
Jim
you.
Gaffigan's a clean comic, but he'll go to Skankfest and just act the
So
fuck
you can
up.
you can really just
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude.
hardcore.
I have not known zero names you said. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
keep. I like the way
Yeah.
you dropping them though.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes me feel important that you
Yeah,
said
right.
it,
Yeah.
I ain't
If
know
I
nothing.
knew him, it would make me
Yeah.
feel important. But
Like, what? Who?
but yeah. So all kinds of stuff. Like man, that's the thing is I'm just trying to stay busy and opportunities keep presenting themselves, man. Like my girl Stephanie over at 225 Theater Collective did hit me up about starting a podcast, which we'd kind of discussed when I was here last time, and I just feel like it was kind of manifested from that. She hit me up and was like, "Look, I want to start a podcast. I just need a personality." And I used to host a couple of podcasts when I was in New Orleans, so I have one. I already had the premise and the title. It's Under the Influencers. And it really just like we're gonna start off being comedy centric, but then focus on people that are just doing dope shit in their respective community.
That's fire.
And I don't want to put too much out there yet, but I'll definitely be interested in having y'all on.
Oh, man, you just say the word. We there.
Yeah.
Look,
I
let Miss
figured as
Stephanie
much.
know we know a fire producer if she need a,
That's what's
saying,
up.
if she need a
What's up.
producer, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, Ken Ray,
Yeah,
Ray
Yeah.
Media
man.
Group, you know.
Oh, nah, that's dope.
Little light work.
And I will say this too, bro. Like after I had you on, I didn't hear one bad thing about you. You know how even in recovery you'll hear people like, yeah, but watch out for
Yeah,
this.
we
this,
were
and the
talking
third.
about sober haters
Dude,
before the
I'm
episode.
talking about not one person had nothing bad to say about you.
I really appreciate that, man. I try to. We were talking about influence, and really, I really just try to carry myself in a way that I can be I guess a positive representation of what this program can do in somebody's life, man.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and I don't want. I hope that anything that I ever do doesn't come off as disingenuine, because like everything that I'm doing right now, like so far as my exuberance and my personality, the things that I'm doing comedically, so far as like the material that I write, the shows that I produce and who I put on them, the way that I carry myself in interpersonal interactions, I don't want any of that to seem disingenuous, because the only reason that I have the only reason I'm doing any of this is because I'm now like I have some joy in my life, some peace and some serenity, and that allows me to have direction and focus and dedication. So all of it I owe to the program,
Right.
and I without that I don't have any of this other stuff.
Well, we talked about it before we went on air. It's like if it don't come off as genuine to them, then that's the insecurities with them.
It is.
And F you and
It is.
funny.
Yeah.
So like, you bringing that up, you one of the very first things you brought up was like, you found yourself at this point being completely detached from any type of spirituality.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And like,
100%.
so I shared it last week, that, I've been able to accumulate some time off of drugs and alcohol. And probably the last 18 months to 3 years has been this mask of like joy, because I had got to this point where like it was completely internal, where I had perceived that I needed to be perfect.
Yeah.
And just from somebody who like has been through the authentic stage, then had to put on this mask while in sobriety, then at 9 years sober finding themselves in a mental health facility to work on their mental health, like it might not mean much, but it doesn't come off disingenuine.
Thank you.
Like there's 100% authenticity
Yep.
that I feel with you, and I believe it's important that we do recognize when that is happening, because like you said, like if we don't support each other, who the fuck's gonna support?
That's right.
Like
right.
like love and joy and boosting each other comes from within in the early stages. Like I can't just have this influence over a big thing if I don't even have influence over the people that I interact with.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And so I appreciate your authenticity. I appreciate you coming on for the second time so that I can get to experience it. I appreciate Ronnie fucking just holding the fort down. You know, it's a joy to be back, and it's a joy that this was the first. Because I was really looking forward to it. Like,
Yeah, you
real,
was.
like
Yeah, you was.
you were. So you were a little dynamic and a little backstory. We might go a little bit over, but fuck them. So when we started this, and Ronnie kind of brought light to it last week, but when we started it, like we'd facilitate these things and everything, and Ronnie would secure every guest. Ronnie would secure every guest that we had, and then we would just come in here and we'd go to work and we'd put out content and we'd put out content personally and everything. You were the first guest that I reached out to.
Yep,
You were the
was.
first guest that I, you know,
That's real.
was like, I want him on. And so, like, it fucking sucked. It
Yeah,
sucked
yeah.
to not
And
be
I
here.
told him, I say, bruh, he's not gonna respond to us, bruh. He's a comedian.
Man.
And dude, you hit back.
I remember the
just
day
a
I texted
dude,
you. I was like, I sent a screenshot. I was like, he hit us back.
It was like,
Yeah.
what?
I'm just a dude, man. Like comedy is something that I do about, and I have to keep in mind so much that without my recovery, none of this is happening. So when recovery and service call, because that's the goal, right? Is having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry this message to
Right.
alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. So for me, when service calls, man, I'm running at that, and when it calls in this kind of form, even better. For the opportunity to reach more people is
And merge
here,
both your
and
loves.
yeah, and merge all of that. Yeah, man, it is the culmination of like this is about as good as I can hope for, really, with something like that. The only other thing that, like, you got those moments of profound.
Clarity.
Profound, just like awesomeness, right? So like last week, I was sitting in a meeting, and this guy started sharing about how he had gone to a comedy show, and that the comedian was in the program, and he was struggling with his own sobriety, right? And he was there drinking, and he said he left that show, and he didn't leave feeling great about seeing a comedian that was in the program. He left feeling like shit. And then another friend shared about how there was no reward for being a good person. And so I had already shared, but then the room got quiet, and I was like, okay, I was going to wait for Burning Desires, but now I'm going to double dip. And I went in, and I was like, talking about the no reward for being a good person. I said, I got to respectfully disagree with that. I said, I spent a lot of time feeling like a shitty person. And for the past year and a half, I've been working on rectifying that. I finally feel like I'm not a shitty person. And the reward that I get for that is every day I wake up and I don't want to kill myself. And then that guy spoke back up, and he said, I just feel like I got to say this. He's like, that show that I went to was at the Smiling Dog, and that comedian is in this room today, and the one thing that I carried with me was that comedian was full of joy, and I was not. But the fact that he was, and I knew that it was possible, that's one of the driving forces that got me into rehab. And bro, I started melting, bro. I just like I had to get up and go give him a hug, and then the rest of the time I was sitting in the meeting, I was sitting at the table, and I was just like, shuddering. I was shuddering. I was just trying to keep it together. And I would look up, one of the old timers in the group. He was just sitting there looking at me. He's like, "Yeah, this shit works." He's just like, "Yeah, feel it." And that's it's like I really hope that this transfers into translates into a bunch of moments like that. because that's the thing, right? Is you want to hit as many people as you can, and for me to combine all of those things together to make an effect on somebody's life is awesome. So thank y'all,
Brandon Bruffet, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
man.
I got chills on that one.
Yes, man. Man, you trying to come back a third time, huh?
Ronnie,
I'm trying to come back again and again and
Like, you
again.
feel comfortable going on vacation, not leaving you here to shoot with Brandon.
Any time, man. Y'all give me a week's notice, bro. I'm here for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's my least favorite time.
unfortunately,
Our
time has come.
it has. We're gonna do
our hour has come to an end.
a podathon.
Yeah.
Have anybody ever did a podathon?
We can be the first ones.
We could be the first ones
Take
to
that
do a
thing
podathon.
live and just have guest after guest.
Just guest after guest.
Just do the three of us, for 9 hours.
I'm telling you. Don't tempt me with a good time.
I'm telling you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is my least favorite time, but as always, the good things must come to an end. Like Mike said in the beginning, man, our subscribers, we love y'all. We see y'all. Our new subscribers, we waiting on y'all. The likes, the shares, the comments, we love it all over TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. Like we've just been getting an outpouring of love, and we really appreciate y'all. And like my man Brandon was just talking about, it helps give us that motivation to keep going and know that we're reaching people because we're doing it for y'all. But as always, we'll be back at the same time, at the same place, with the same producer, built by the Red Stick, baby. Built by adversity, led by courage.
We love y'all.
Thanks for having me, guys.
That was an episode.